Hi everyone, we're going to go through a lab I just created called Greenbone Vulnerability Scan. Greenbone used to be OpenVAS, which is an open source vulnerability scanner. The setup is interesting and I had a couple issues which I noted in the instructions. You may have other issues, but we'll see if we can make it work. So why are we setting up Greenbone? Well, it is kind of like the de facto standard for, it's one of the big open source vulnerability scanners. It doesn't cost anything. So the why of this assignment is to take a little closer look at not just executing the scan, but analyzing the scan results. Think about it. How do we solve the problem? We're also going to look at it for professional, ethical, and certification and career preparation. We are going to do your typical tutorial where we install it, we run a scan, but at the end we're going to do a little bit more. This would be similar to what we're doing in the semester project, but in a smaller scale and only in a vulnerability scan. So we want a brief summary of the scan results, like how many vulnerabilities, notable vulnerabilities. That might include a screenshot showing the vulnerabilities that you found. You want to make some recommendations based on that. The deliverable is going to be a report that shows key steps as you're setting up OpenVAS, configuring the scan. We want a summary of findings and analysis of we want a summary of findings, right? And I should have separated that. We want a detailed analysis of one high security vulnerability. And then here's the little rubric. This guy is 90 points. And then of course recommendations. So you're going to be submitting like maybe a little white paper report with this, not just doing screenshots in this document. All right, well, let's go to the top and get started. We'll do the first part, which is installing Greenbone. Always, when you're installing things in Linux, the first thing you always want to do is sudo apt update. Make sure that your Linux box has all the latest knowledge about any updates in the apt package manager. This is much like Windows updates. You're synchronizing what your computer knows about with what Kali.download and all these repositories know. And there's 61 packages that can be upgraded. So for this one, we do want to upgrade everything. And yeah, upgrade. And you can put -y at the end. -y just means if you're doing something and there's a question, it automatically will say yes. So you probably are going to have a lot more packages. I just went through this tutorial this morning and updated at that point. So we're going to go ahead and say yes, and then it's going to blink and whir and do all kinds of things. The next part we've done before. This is a bit bigger program. It's going to take longer to get set up. Sudo apt install GVM. That is our Greenbone, and it's actually Greenbone Community Edition because the company that bought up OpenVAS, I don't know if they bought it, but anyway, they've taken it over, so to speak. They have a pay-for version too. Now notice that mine went really quickly. Well, that's because I already did it this morning. Once that's done, which may take a while, well, actually that part doesn't take too long. This next step can take a while. sudo gvm-setup. This is going to download all kinds of things. It's going to check a database server. It's going to check all sorts of things, and it's going to download things, and this can take an hour or so. I did receive an error when I did this, and you'll notice that in the documentation, I have this. I encountered this error, this particular error right here, and this is how I fixed it. You may have to look here. You may have to do some more research to fix it. But almost always when there's some sort of an issue, somebody else has had the problem and figured it out. So this is the how to fix this issue part. And hopefully everything being okay, you will end up continuing the Greenbone setup without any problems. But notice here it's downloading this, it's downloading that. Well, that is a normal part of the setup. And so we'll pause here for a moment. Well, this is the, I don't know that that's it, but the admin user already exists because I've already done this. When you do this, you're going to have a very long password, which kind of looks like this, but this isn't the password. You'll want to copy that and paste it to a text file so you don't have to type it in. It is a big, long, honking thing. Well, the next thing it says, as part of installing Greenbone, and this can take an hour or so before this gets done. So you want to make sure that you're starting this project early. You'll want to make sure that you are patient and have other things to do. So now we're going to do just what it says. We're going to run, and of course, sudo jvm, let's see, jvm, gvm. Yep, there we go. Oh, and I put a T in there. That's not going to work. Sudo jvm, oops, got to type it right, jvm dash check setup. Now this is going to go through and see if everything is working and if the services can start, just make sure that everything is hunky-dory, we hope. And I'm sure this is going to finish up just fine. So we'll come back in another video. Oh no. Well, yes, everything looks like it's happy. The next thing to verify that we have gotten this to work is sudo jvm-start to start. And it says, yep, everybody's already running, everybody's happy. So now you'll want to open up your web browser. There is also, if you go up to this menu up here, your corner menu, and type in GREEN. Oh no, you have to type in JVM. There it is. Here's the same things that we're just looking up. Here's one that starts it. This starts it and also takes you to the white website if you want to do that. Or maybe it doesn't. I found something that did. Okay, well that wasn't it. Regardless, our website's going to be https:// and then localhost. And since I've already been there, it already shows it. And the port is 9392. That's going to take us to, and oh no, warning, potential security risk ahead. Well, we're using a certificate. The communication is encrypted, and there's nothing wrong with the encryption. What we're doing is using our own certificate. It's not signed by somebody like VeriSign or Amazon or something like that, but inside a network, there's really nothing really wrong with using your own private certificates, as long as you know that you're the one that did it. Well, part of the setup was that we created a certificate, and we're only using this locally. So we go to Advanced, and we say, yes, we're going to accept that risk. And see where it says Unknown Issuer? Well, that's because we issued it ourselves, and it's self-signed. That's why we're having all these errors, but it's not really an error. And there we are, and yes, I've already copied and pasted my horrifyingly long password, and sign in to Greenbone, and there it is. There's our dashboard. Everybody's happy. Moving on to the next step.